So, it's the middle of the night. I thought it would be the perfect time to talk about death. I have lots of tea here, so get yourself something to drink and join. Where do I put my tea? Put it on this. Like this. Like a microphone. Maybe I should get a wand just to point my microphone in a better way. This is part of the huge collab called 12 Days of Yule. I'm trying to take part in. I'm not sure how well I'm gonna manage, but yeah, one of the topics is death. Maybe I will talk of my own definition regarding death. For the longest time, I didn't know what death was. I also didn't know what comes after death, and I didn't know how to handle it. I was also afraid of dying for a long time. But in my early 20s, I read a book which was called Solstice with Maury, and was a book about an old philosophy professor who got a diagnosis that is fatal. And he decided to give one last lesson about life and death while he was actively dying, and the author was one of his students. And I read this book because someone recommended it to me, and there was one story in there that I remember exactly the place where I was when I read this story. I was back in my hometown. I walked 2 kilometers just at night. It's also on the countryside, so there's nothing going on there. I walked to the highest dike we have there, right where the gates for the flooding is. And I sat on a bench, and there was one light. I sat under the only light on this entire dike, on the bench, and I was looking at the stars and at the sheep in front of me. And maybe I will read it to you actually. But I lent the book to someone, but I wrote it down many times, so let me quickly see if I can find it for you. It's in one of my sketchbooks, this page. So, I usually don't read, so let's see how that will go. This story is about a little wave bobbing along in the ocean, having a good old time. He's enjoying the wind and the fresh air until he notices the other waves in front of him crashing against the shore. "My God, this is terrible," the wave says. "Look what's going to happen to me." Then along comes another wave. It sees the first wave looking grim, and it says to him, "Why do you look so sad?" The first wave says, "You don't understand. We're all going to crash. All of us waves going to be nothing." The second wave says, "No, you don't understand. You're not a wave. You're part of the ocean." The end. So I read this part of the story, this poem, this tiny story, and I immediately started to cry. Under the stars with the sheep, I cried because it just hit me like slapped me that this was exactly it, this was it. And with mind, body and soul, I understood that this is the way. And this is what I have and had been missing. And since then, I'm also not afraid of dying, because I know I'm not a wave, I never was. I'm part of the ocean. And as cheesy as that sounds, it makes the most sense to me. So since that day, I do believe that once I die, I will return to be part of everything, and I will just dissolve in the fabric of the universe. And the sentence, "Everything is me, I am everything, I'm part of everything, and everything is part of me," just for the first time actually made complete sense. So I believe we're just made out of universe, and this is the current form I have this time around. And when I die, I will just return to it. Maybe I will be a bit of a tree, a bit of the ocean, a bit of the universe, a bit of the stars. I will be a bit of everything, and the energy and the flow of life. And for some reason, that calms me down. It's so, I don't know how to say it. It feels like a blessing, and also so reassuring and comforting to know, Yeah. I do think, I don't know, sometimes you have these moments in life, right, where you have like this spiritual epiphany out of nowhere and just like slaps you into a different stage of existence in a way. So, but since that day, I also view everything else a bit different. I view nature very much more part of me than before, and I view myself very much more part of everything than before. And I don't know, the universe after that day seemed not friendlier, familiar, it's like more familiar. It's not this like very big, scary, unknown entity anymore. It's just, that's, part of me, and I'm part of it, and I always have, and I always will be till the end of time, whenever that will be. Yeah, so that's how I view death. And I know there are lots of questions that could be asked. For example, well, if you believe in spirits and ghosts, and especially people that died already, how can you communicate with them if they are like just dissolve and be part of everything else? That's a good question. I don't have an answer. Also, my belief is that it's a bit like an American God, I think, that you will become, what will happen after you die is what you believe in. So if you're a Christian and you believe in going to heaven, that's what will happen. Who am I to say this won't happen? I don't know. I haven't been dead yet and gone to heaven. I don't know. So how dare I to just say, oh no, that doesn't make any sense. Or if you believe in reincarnation, who am I to say that this is impossible and doesn't make any sense? Someone could look at my story and believe you will be part of the universe's fabric again? That sounds stupid. Yeah, maybe, but I feel it to be true. And I cannot explain to you why. And I don't think I need to, because that's my personal belief. So, because I know I feel it to be true, why would I tell someone else what they feel is true is wrong? Doesn't make any sense. So, I kind of believe in all of them. A bit like I believe in all of the gods, because again, I'm just a mere little human, like a fraction of a millisecond of this entire existence. How dare I to say to somebody, your God is real and your one is not, or your God doesn't make any sense, mine does. It doesn't make any sense for me personally to think like this. So even though I personally don't work with them or believe in them or pray to them, I do consider them, or the chance of them being real, as very much possible. Because I'm not gonna stand here and just denounce and announce any gods or other gods as being real or not. So yeah, this is my belief, and this is my base for my belief. It would be very interesting to hear what you believe about death. Yeah, I think death is beautiful. I think it makes life worth living. That's why I also think like the worst thing that could ever happen to me would be to get immortality. It's the worst I can imagine, honestly. And what the frick would I do with immortality, you know? Like, this existence is already hard enough. Imagine doing this for always, like until the end of time. I cannot. It's like a nightmare. I even started writing a book about it, about how horrifying it would be to be immortal. Because for me, you're like stepping outside of the not only the circle of life, but also outside of the fabric of the universe. I mean, what is that? Like, how devastating, you know, to lose your born, deeply rooted connection with everything and take yourself out of the circle. What are you? Everything is here. What are you? You know, it's like, it's horrifying. Honestly, the thought is literally horrifying for me. So yeah, even if this in my lifetime, if this should ever be a science thing, never ever will you catch me wishing to be immortal. Not like I think it's the greatest punishment you could give someone, because everything becomes meaningless, you know. But I wanted to go somewhere else with that point. I don't know, I forgot. So, well, it would be very interesting to see others' definition of death, or what they will come up with on the topic of death. You know, while we're talking at it, maybe we'll check quickly if I actually understood the question correct, or if I have been rambling for like 20 minutes about the wrong question regarding death. Completed that assignment and reflected on my beliefs on death and rebirth in a sense. So I also forgot this entire time to drink my tea, which is fine. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little mini rant about this very, very interesting topic, and I would love to hear your thoughts about it and your beliefs, because they can vary so much. And I don't know. I think I have never done this, just to sit down and like talk about my beliefs and thoughts. Very interesting feeling. Well, I hope you enjoyed it, and I see you in the next video. Bye bye.